Hello everyone, my name is David, and today I'm going to record this video named The Last Human, a glimpse into the far future. Let's get started. The future of humanity seems insecure. Rapid and climate change, potential divisions, and our greed and failings to make it hard to look at our species with a lot of optimism, when so many think our end is in sight. But humans have always thought they live in end times. Every generation assumed they are important enough to witness the apocalypse, or then lives just go on. This is a problem because it leads to short-term thinking and prevents us from creating the best worlds for ourselves and descendants. What makes this worse is that we actually be living at an extremely critical moment in human history. To understand why, let's look at a temporary window of humanity and ask, when will the last human be born, and how many people will there ever be? The source of estimates comes with a lot of uncertainties, so please take them with a gigantic grain of salt to be a sense how many people there will be. Let's see how many have lived. Modern humans rose some 200,000 years ago. They're uniquely good at making tools, telling stories, thinking abstractly, planning, and working together in large groups beyond their family. But there were not many of us. Surpluses and foods were spared. Survival was hard. Life expectancy was low. It took us 150,000 years to grow to a population of 2 million. Improvements were graduated and eventually led to an agricultural revolution, arguably the biggest change in human history. This is when our numbers really started to growing. It took 10,000 more years to get to 300 million. The increases was dwarfed. The industrial revolution in 1800, there were a billion of us. The human population doubled in just 120 years, and again in 50. Today we number about 8 billion. In total, there last 200,000 years, about 117 billion people were born and lived, and 109 billion also died, which means that about 7% of all the humans that ever lived are alive right now. As many were born the first 150 years of human history. Every minute, 207 babies joined the party, but there were not just more people, never been. But there was not just more people, never before we have as healthy and well off, or lived longer. With growing living standards, our birth rates collapsed. And UN estimates that around the year 2100 we will hit about population peak, and there will be 125 million people born each year. It is pretty unlikely that the birth rate will stay stable forever. Let's pretend to make our experience simpler. How many people will there in the future depends on how on our species will die out, and when will we find a lot of uncertainties. We'll also be able to destroy ourselves through our own inventions. There's also solutions to adverse catastrophic risks. we can change the directions of the planet killer asteroids and also invented nuclear weapons. We discover antibiotic and also carry disease across the globe in a matter of days. Our individual systems gave us an incredible standard of living, but also changed the atmosphere in process. It's very hard to say if human ingenuity will prolong or shorten our species' lifespan. If things go badly, our end could come suddenly, but if we manage to avoid that, we could conversely stick around for a long time. So every way we don't destroy ourselves may mean life could be an unformable of number about humans. How many people are we talking about? It depends on how far our species is going to expand. Scenario 1. Humans will never leave Earth. If we stay on our home planet, it's a good metric to look at this extinction rate of animals that we get from the fossil record. The average lifespan of a mammalian species in Oregon is 1 million years, with some surviving to 10 million years. Our close relative Homo erectus survived for about 1.9 million years. Let's be conservative and assume that humans will survive for millions of years, which leaves us 800,000 more years enable away, assuming a stable birth rate of 125 million people each year. This means roughly 100 trillion humans are waiting to be born, 800 times greater than the numbers of the people have ever lived. This would make the people alive today only the 0.008% of all the people that will ever live. Think about where this leaves you. Instead of putting you at the end of the chaotic mess that was our past, this means that you could live in the very beginning of something big. The start of the human story rather than the end. Doesn't this feel incredibly different? Now consider this may be extremely pessimistic in nature. If we match the survival time for most of the success mammals, then our future numbers rise to 1.2 quadrillion people that seems to yet to be born, and even this seems far from our potential. As the sun slowly gets harder and brighter, the Earth will remain habitable for about 500 million years, giving so many more potential people the chance to become actual people. And now let's begin to think big. Scenario 2. Humans will leave Earth. We went to human worshipping on the moon to humans walking to it. Who knows how much further we can go if we don't die out within the next few hundred years. The idea seems too outlandish right now becomes serious considerations. If we believe that we have a chance of surviving for maybe a million of years, then we can expand into other planets, into our own artificial world. Life needs three things: a surface, resources, and energy. Our sun provides energy for billions of years, and there's so much water and material floating in the asteroid and Kuiper belt that we could sustain many times our current population. Instead of living on planets, we could decide to construct our own artificial worlds and habitats. With resources and energy so abundant, we could try out different types of sociology and try ways of making life an interconnected civilization. Expanding the solar system would create the abyss of experience for a burst number of individual orders of magnitude more if we stick to Earth, even if it only exists in a few million years. This future doesn't have to be grim and dark as science fiction likes to paint it. With quadrillions of people waiting to be born, we will have billions of doctors working on curing cancer, billions of problem solvers working on ending poverty, and billions of video games developers making life fun. More humans may actually mean more process. Another upside of leaving Earth is spreading out means become much harder for us to be extinct, as you need a solar system with a wide catchsphere to catch everybody. So aside from the nearby supernovae of gamma ray bursts, or human would be relatively safe from extinction, maybe for billions of years. If we manage to survive for that long, slowly evolution and genetic engineering make us into multiple species. We might intentionally keep ourselves the same as we are now. To account for that, we'll just talk about people from now on instead of humans. Okay, now let us think really big. Scenario 3. People leave the solar system. An enormous the solar system is. It's just one star system among billions in the Milky Way. If future people can colonize, say, 100 billion stars and live there for 100 million years, and each genetic 100 million births per year, then we can expect something like 100 octillion lives to be lived in the future. This is one of 29 zeros, 100,000 trillion. We can spin this up like we like. The Andromeda galaxy will merge the Milky Way, adding another trillion stars for us to settle. The white dwarfs will stay active for trillions years, and future civilizations might even find energy and habitats around black holes. Sufficient advanced civilization of our destinations and galaxy groups. While these numbers are mind-blowing, they may underestimate the number of unborn people by many orders of magnitude. If we divide the total energy available in the galaxy by the average energy gets a single person, then we get a trillion potential lives. That's a million, trillion potential people. Conclusion. Hopefully that we don't become evidence that if we don't kill ourselves in the next few centuries or millennia, almost all humans that will ever exist will live in the future, which brings us back to us, the present. We exist in the high points of human history, with incredible possibilities at our gaps, with technological environment and social. What we can matters is for all the people who do not exist yet. So let's not invoke to think about humanity's long-term future or optimism, or to think about it all. Maybe just giving you a bit of perspective. If we screw up the present, so many people will ever come to exist. Quadrillions of unborn humans are at our mercy. So if we go even fairly conservative estimates, the born are by far the largest group of people and the most disenfranchised. Somebody who might be born in thousands of millions of years depends on us today for their existence. This is why it's important to think our distant future and why our presence is so crucial. what matters what we do today. One day, the last human will be born. We don't know when. But if we change our perspective from us living at the end of human history to us living at the beginning, we can only not build a wonderful world for us and for them, but also countless of members of others. So that's the end of the video. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.